What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to go over a little story. It's making a little bit of traffic online, but I just wanted to bring it to you guys here. So from Kaarx, Kaarxx on Twitter, former writer, scripter, senior game designer, and lead gameplay designer at Warhorse, Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 and 2, has joined CD Projekt Red for The Witcher 4 as a senior quest designer. And you can look at the LinkedIn page. So writer and game designer for quite a while, senior game designer / scripter, lead gameplay designer. So this is a person that you can see actually Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I own several quests and gameplay features and worked on them as a writer, designer, and scripter. And now they're going to be a senior quest designer for CD Projekt Red. So, maybe not the biggest thing in the world, but when it comes to The Witcher 4 and when it comes to, not even just CD Projekt Red, okay? To me, I've said this quite often, with these big open world games, the number one thing I look for is a world that feels alive, okay? Now, you can do that through like NPCs interacting with each other. You even look at that Unreal Engine 5 demo thing that they did, which may or may not actually, make its way into the base game, but just when it was the NPCs selling things, right? And they kind of dragged the camera over and they were just showing them pulling out a fish and like cutting the fish and everything was literally happening, right? Whereas back in the day, you almost had to imagine those things were happening in games because they couldn't really show you. That's a huge thing to me in terms of like, okay, an open world game feels alive, feels reactive, feels like it is lived. That's what I normally say. It feels like it's lived in. Even when we leave the game, you can still believe the game is still living, right? Still doing things. Now, I think CD Projekt Red has generally been very good with that. I guess launch of Cyberpunk aside, okay? Because really after that, I think they rebounded quite well. But, you think about Witcher 3, I think is one of the better examples of that. There is just, maybe Red Dead Redemption 2 is maybe the greatest example of just a world that feels like things are constantly happening. But, Witcher 3 did it technically first. But no, Witcher 3 really, it does stand out, okay, to be honest with you. And you know what another one is that does it really well, that maybe doesn't get all of the flowers it deserves? Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 was such a special game, and 2 knocked it out of the park as well. So, and that's kind of why I wanted to make this video, because it's, when I think about Witcher 4 and when I think about games like that, the things I want to see, it's again the world that feels so alive. Now, a thing that can also help that, though, right, on top of everything I just said, is side quests. When you're just walking down a street and a random thing, question marks, or the random, NPC events that can happen, like a Red Dead or whatever. And Kingdom Come, you think about Kingdom Come and day-night cycles and like schedules of these characters, right? They'll go to bed. Some of them will literally wake up and start working before others because that's their job, is to wake up and work before others. So it's incredible, and I think it all plays into, look, you need good combat, you need a good story, you need good characters, you need it to be, well written, but at the same time, this person, wrote some of the side stuff for Kingdom Come, and that's important. Not just the main stuff, but to have some killer side missions that are just, that's how you get these games, by the way, to be 50, 60, 70 hours. None of them have 50, 60, 70 story hours. It's maybe half of that is a story, and then the other half is exploring, is all these game mechanics, and then it's side missions, right? It's side activities, it's side quests. Those need to feel alive and like they're reactive to what's going on. So I think those are all things that are very, very important, that stand out, at least to me, in these type of games. And this individual was very, very good at it, and not just very good at it. Well, because Kingdom Come, of course, was very good, but had a high role. This wasn't an intern. This wasn't a person that worked there for a year. This is a person that's been there a long time and probably contributed to why we think that these games are quite good. In part because of this individual. And so for CD Projekt Red to suck them up, not necessarily all that great for Kingdom Come, but you hope that they have kind of that homegrown talent. And I find that exciting because CD Projekt, again, they have been known for that already, right? They are good at that. But to be good at it yourself, and then to also kind of pull outside help and people that kind of specialize it right outside of you, I think that's important as well. So small little move maybe, but actually they're going to have a pretty impactful role. I mean, the actual job, right, being a senior quest designer, that's no small, feat in Witcher 4. So if the quests are pretty good in Witcher 4, this person's going to have, a pretty large role to play in that. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.